everybody, welcome to Bedroom Busters and Bites, Season 2 with Tahani and friends. I want y'all to enjoy some wonderful conversation, real talk, and just everything in between. And believe me, you are serving more than just tea.
Diddy bopped up the fire, evolved, whacking these fastball sliders and all. The Andrew McCutcheon of music I ball, translucent what you think that you can dissolve. Got more things I'm bagging and getting it off. Got them on twitching and itching. Who girl is watching, I give her a fixing. Foreigns and all looking just like a stitching. But that ain't your broad and
You're not helping Wayne nobody off nothing. And the difference between that, excuse and the excuse of a drug addict is you're not biochemically addicted to kids. So a heroin addict has opioid chemicals that his receptors are overreacting to. So it might be times where you have to give a small amount of opium to a heroin addict to stop their body from going into cardiac arrest or something negative like that because they become neurologically addicted. But your kids ain't crack. You're not biochemically addicted to no kids. Right. This is all psychological. So, if that's the case, listen, if you could give a pedophile a toy that mimics a toddler for them to have sex with, can we start giving the KKK dolls of kids for them to hang on the tree? So, would the Ku Klux Klan member have that same excuse? Would he be able to, hang little dolls of black kids in his backyard and then say, oh no, I'm just taking out what I really think on the dial, so I don't do it to a real person? Could I go get me, some dials of the things I don't like and kill them and torture them, and then say, oh, I'm only doing this, so I don't really do it?
So what is it doing? Is that promoting the addiction even more? Is that like
yes?
So what they're trying to do is basically only making it worse. Because after you get done with that doll, it's like now what? The doll, you're not gonna get this.
And then who's to say that somebody's not using the dial for deviant purposes? Who's to say that somebody's not buying that dial and then having sex with the dial in front of a kid to make the kid think that it's okay?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know what you're doing with this dial after.
Yes, my whole thing about that is the same way the same way like how the guy Chris Hansen,
yes sir,
or whatever. The same way he do that, and how people they bait them in to come to the house and stuff like that. The same way that they mailing dolls and stuff like that is the same way people should go down too.
Yes, yeah. I totally agree.
I don't feel that at all.
Yep.
I don't feel that. Not when it comes to kids and stuff like that.
I totally agree with you, bro.
I respect that. I don't feel that. That's not cool to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's just a universal fact. What he just said is a universal fact. You got opinionated, gestures, and then you got stuff that's just law. Like water is wet. It don't matter what race you are, what you believe, it's wet. What he just said is universal. You should not be, entertaining or advertising anything that got to do with children. And before we go to that next question, I'm gonna just give y'all an update. Okay, so we got our beans boiling. Okay, and now these eyes get they get hot a little fast. So y'all see me finessing. But with that being said, yeah, if you don't want to use too much oil, okay, on your meat, you can definitely keep it moist a little bit with water. So we got our bottled water here. Y'all see me putting it in the cap and flicking it on there.
Yeah, I had that problem before, Pharaoh. When I used this meat, it was very dry, like very crumbly, very dry, and I didn't know the reason why. So you saying add meat to it?
No. You can add a little bit of water to it. Yeah, I mean that's like if you don't want it too oily, because you got your health freaks. And I just want to let y'all know, for the health freaks watching, this ain't it. This is not Dr. Sabi's kitchen. This is the Wayne you off of meat if you want to get off meat, but you still want to finesse and have a good time with your friends. This is a little quick throw it together. A little quick throw it together meal. But we can go to the next topic.
All right, so that was the first thing that we saw. So the next thing I know we wanted to address, and we all were speaking of it, is toxic parents. When parents offend bad behavior, let's really get into that. Parents offending bad behavior. Like I watch the first 48 a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
So you'll have like a victim who's been murdered. Then the mother will come in with the crying, this, that, and the third, or whatever the case may be. sad, of course, obviously, because her child was murdered.
Right.
And you had the murderer, his parents or his mother, and it's like the crying and stuff like that, but not really recognizing or really acknowledging the fact that your child just murdered somebody else's child.
Right, it's like you want to fight with the family,
right,
the victim.
exactly.
Right.
The victim's family. So is that like what we call that the same thing as basically condoning bad behavior? And then also too, this is another thing I was wondering.
Yeah.
If you have a child, right?
I see that.
I see.
Go ahead.
If you have a child and your child is on a run, is it wrong for a parent to turn that child in, call the police? When is that like?
It depends. It depends, and I gotta answer this. Let me cut this on low as I talk, so I don't burn this meat. So, whatchamacallit? Alright, boom, it's on low. So with that being said, it really honestly depends. Like for me personally, it depends on what my kid did. I love my kids to death, but I love universal law more. So as long as my kids ain't rape nobody, they ain't touch no kids, I really don't care what they did. But I'm not going to protect them from the consequences of their own actions, just like I don't expect myself to be protected if I do wrong. So if my son kills somebody, and I go to court and the other family is grieving, personally, I don't think it would be okay for me to try to make the other family feel bad or turn them into an enemy because my son is going to jail for a crime. So, when you have parents that, and we saying this because you got a lot of parents that, let's say your kid go to school and they bully somebody and they get into a fight. You got parents that go to school and be like, I don't care what my kid did. You don't
Right.
And it's like all you doing is teaching them that you teaching them the same thing that you mad you the victim of. You look at police and you say, damn, why police don't check each other? Because sergeants feel like, I don't care who my officer shot. He's my officer.
Yeah,
so you carry the same ideology of the person that you mad. That is, you carry the same ideology of certain people that you mad at, but then it's right when you do it, but it's wrong when they do it. So I feel like people need to stop babying these kids, because what you're doing is you're teaching kids that it's not wrong. Because most of the time, and we're going to keep it on the court scenario, you didn't babied your son. You didn't taught your son that there is no consequences for his actions. He go out here and do something to somebody else's son. Now he's going to jail because you never taught him the real truth about responsibility. And then there's another kid that's dead because, and their parents is mad. And their parents is mad for interacting with your kids because he has certain responsibility failure issues. So I think people need to stop babying their kids and, make their kids own up to the stuff that they do. But that's not going to happen until kids stop having kids. And I don't mean that by being young having children. I mean that by being young-minded having children. You got some 40-year-old people out here that's really still 14 years old in their mind. You need to grow up.
So what about a parent that says, like as far as smoking marijuana, you could smoke in the house, don't smoke outside, and then the ones that's smoking with the children? Would you say that that's toxic behavior?
Yes and no. Because I'm going to tell my kids, I don't care what I care about everything you do. But depending on what you do, I'd rather you do it in this house. And I'm not saying I'm approving of my kids smoking weed underage. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if I know my daughter is 17, and I know that my daughter smokes, okay? Whether she tell me or not, you a parent, you know what your kids do. If I was a parent, and let's say I couldn't stop my kids, okay? I'm not saying I'm trying to. Let's just say I couldn't stop my daughter. I would rather clean the basement out, turn the basement into a crash pad, and let my kids be down there. Because I don't got to worry about if somebody going to lace my daughter and try to abuse her.
I done got wild or something.
Exactly. So I'd rather, that's what I'm saying. I would rather.
One hit.
Right. If my son drink and he got a drinking problem, okay, because everybody's scenario is different. Some people, kids is drug addicts and you can't stop them. So let's say my son get addicted to alcohol at 16, 17. He might, because I was addicted to alcohol young, so it could happen. So I would rather him and his friends be in the basement playing a damn game and pass out on the couch than they be out here drunk driving and die in an accident or go to jail. So I'm not saying let your kids do things when they're underage, but I'm not really mad at parents who try to control the little bit of aspect of their life or their kids like that they might can, because you might have an out of control teenager and you got to meet them halfway. You know what I'm saying?
But where's the respect then, like for the parent? Like, you don't think that that's kind of like jeopardizing the level of respect for the
well, not really, because
the kid will respect that highly. Like, you know what? Like, my folks let me chill here and do this. Like, that's what's up. Like, I think they would have a respect.
Well, for me personally, you gotta ask yourself, why do we demonize weed? Because white people told you to do that. No disrespect to white people. But why do you demonize weed? The fact we even having this conversation right now It's because a white person told you it was bad. He locked everybody up, and then now that he locked up all the drug dealers that he dealt weed to, now he's gonna open a dispensary and deal it himself. So.
And the reason that happened is because white women was down at the juke joints gyrating to the liquor and all that.
Yeah.
So the white man was like, you know what? We're gonna make this law and put this on that. So now this is that, because they know that usually weed targets the black community.
Exactly. Can I have a little bit of that oil again?
Yeah. So my question is this: what's the difference between a parent giving a kid the okay to smoke weed opposed to a parent giving a kid the okay to have sex in the house?
I would give my kids the okay to have sex in the house.
Are you
For
serious?
sure. Because I can control it.
How?
Listen, let me tell y'all the type of parent. I'm gonna tell you what type of parent I am, because we always talk about community and family.
Yeah.
Why do we turn everything into an enemy? The point of life is to procreate. Why would I demonize my daughter for doing something that I need her to do in order for the world to go around? I just don't need her to do it with the wrong person.
So you agree, like you are.
Listen, when my daughter get ready to date, I'm dropping her on the date. Because here's my thing, right? I don't want to.
How old is she at this time, though?
About 16, 17.
That means something too.
16, 17.
Because
But that's not young, though.
Listen, at 16, I'm not going to approve sex, but I will approve socializing and conversation. I will approve that. 17, my thing is going to be 18. Can I force my daughter to not have sex till 18? No. 17, if she do her, cool. But I'm going to be, and this is what I mean by being involved. If my daughter got a dude, right? I don't know how this young man grew up. I don't know what he believed. So I'm not going to put pressure on him. I'm not going to be one of them older dudes that be like, oh, you better not break my daughter's heart. I'd rather invite him over for dinner. Sit down. I might could be a father figure. I might could be a brother figure. I have to influence you in the way that you influence my daughter. If y'all fighting, I don't want to come in there and be like, nigga, what? I want to be able to be like, listen, you was right here, you was wrong here. You was right here, you was wrong here. I want to be an involved parent, because that's the only way we going to heal the community. I don't want to just, you know what I'm saying, be...
So basically you saying use both sides of the brain.
But
that's what you want to do. You want to be a balanced parent.
No,
Just totally
wait, hold on. What happens when a child is bringing them in the home and you're not there? Like, how could you tell them?
My daughter is going to be comfortable with me. You're not going to have to sneak. That's the whole point of this conversation. I know y'all at home, and it's a camera.
See, I'm confused though. Like,
You got that one back there.
it's a little confusing though, because it's like, okay, so you wouldn't be offended if you say, okay, you know what, you can do it in a house. Is it the fact that you're in the house, or is it the fact
I think those are imaginary things that parents made up just to be mad at their kids. Why would I be mad that you're doing something in a controlled environment? I'd rather that than I get the call and they say your daughter was in the bathroom, they was running a train on her.
But what about pregnancy? Like, if she's 16 and she's given permission to have sex in the house,
it's gonna be a thing of condoms right there.
oh, so you
That's what you do.
But it's still...
Curiosity kills a cat.
Listen, it could be, but listen, my thing is this: I'm not gonna spend my time trying to, and I need this to cool down a little bit. It went down. Let me put that in.
And this
I'm not gonna
so
wait,
good, y'all.
Thank you. I'm not gonna. May you turn that meat a little bit while I do this, just so the bottom don't burn. And I don't know if the pot is water.
That's
Yeah, it got kind of hot, right?
Yeah.
That hot plate get hot.
It's so curious.
It might, but a little bit more, just a little bit more, so the meat that was on the top will get on the bottom, because that was small. But before you jump in, I want to end what I said, so people don't be like, oh. Because I really don't care, but I want to make my point. Yeah, what Pharaoh said he gonna... I'm not going to spend my life trying to stop the inevitable. You're going to have sex. It's going to happen. There's nothing I can do. I don't understand why men, and I'm just how I feel. I don't understand why men over exude themselves trying to control what a woman do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a womanizer. I don't feel like a man could. It's certain things. I believe in gender roles. A woman having sex is not a part of gender role. Gender role is take care of the kids, breastfeed the babies, be feminine. That's a gender role. I wouldn't say if I have a one night stand and a woman have a one night stand, I'm a player. I call the body and then she's a slut. I don't believe in that.
So you cool with the one night stand? I'm
just putting it out there. I don't hold women to an imaginary standard that I don't hold men to. My only thing is I ask that women understand the vitality of their body, and I hopefully, not hopefully, but I am going to raise my daughter in a way to where my daughter understands that.
So listen to this real quick. So this is where I get a little like, I don't know, like I'm not a parent, so maybe one day I'll, you know, get to that point where I can, you know, speak from it as far as like my own personal experience. Hopefully it's not with that situation, but what's the difference between a child, a young boy bringing a Barbie doll to his mother saying, Mom, I want to play with this doll? Like, you're trying to still basically show them that, you know, how can I put this? You're trying to show them that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to do certain things as long as I know, because they're in the house having sex too now. It's all the same.
Well, not really, because it's certain things that's okay in the house is okay out the house if it's okay, period. Like playing a boy dressing up like a girl is not okay, period. That's not okay in public or private.
But how about having sex at the age of 15?
I'm not approving for sex at 15.
Or 16.
I said I'm shooting for 18. Okay. But I expect by 17, I accept the fact that by 17 my daughter may have had sex. I'm saying 18.
You just being a realist.
Yeah, I'm not about to be. That's like me saying, oh, son, don't drink till you're 21. He probably gonna take a sip of some wine before he's 21. So I'm not saying.